Well, today I am portraying a radio operator of the 7th Panzer Division of the East German Army in 1977. The East German Army was considered one of the most professional of the Warsaw Pact ground forces who were allied with the Soviet Union during the Cold War, but they were also the smallest. But that came with some advantages in its own right. They had access to more modern equipment, typically, than many of their comrades in Poland or Hungary, for example. A East German infantryman would typically be equipped with a steel helmet with a cover sometimes. Other times they might use a camouflage net, or they might just wear it bare, depended. A East German infantryman would almost always, until the very end of the Cold War, be armed with an MPIKM assault rifle, which is simply a AKM, like the Soviet Union used, but manufactured in East Germany. East German Panzer divisions were equipped with a variety of tanks. T-55s were very common, but T-72s eventually also were very common, like this model here. Apart from their duties as a internal guard for East Germany, they also had a related division called the Grenztruppen, who were effectively militarized border guards, whose job it was to prevent Western incursion and East German citizens from leaving the country. An East German officer, which I also portray, would, in less formal settings, wear a uniform such as this. So, for example, a office or a military base that would wear this type of uniform with a map case. Map cases were, to an extent, considered a symbol of rank in East Germany, because only officers were trusted to operate maps effectively. The East German Army was also supplemented by the Kampfgruppe der Arbeiterklasse, or the combat groups of the working class, which effectively acted as a national guard. They wore uniforms very similar to the East German Army, although they did not wear camouflage, instead having a simple olive drab tunic. They usually were not equipped with as modern of equipment as the National People's Army, instead being issued until the late 60s M1891-30s, which are Mosin Nagant rifles that the Soviet Union provided, and eventually they were issued SKS rifles, which were also Soviet manufactured. Apart from the typical combat loadout for an East German soldier would include a set of web gear like this. As you can see, the belt is identical, including a bayonet for their rifle, an entrenching tool, a canteen, of course, for water, a magazine pouch. East German soldiers were only issued one, and it carried 4 magazines for their assault rifles. And a grenade pouch occasionally, depending on whether the command structure determined that they needed grenades. When not in active combat duty, they would wear a uniform like what I'm wearing right now, which is simply the field uniform with a side cap and a plain belt as opposed to a fully equipped one. That
is your communication over there. What is this?
Yes.
What is that exactly?
This right here is a R105 radio. This particular one is Soviet. The East Germans did manufacture a version of it. It is identical in every way except that the instructions are in German. It was considered a platoon to company level radio. So an infantry platoon might carry one. An infantry company would definitely have at least one, and it could be used in a situation like this, set up at an outpost. But there was also equipment here to turn it into a man-portable radio that is carried on the back, which would be my duty in the field if there wasn't a command post set up. When in the field, the front receiver would be taken off and the lid would be closed.
Okay.
So everything would have to be pre-tuned prior to being deployed.
Gotcha. So how many men were there a part of this?
In the East German Army?
Yeah. In that area?
At its height, I want to say 108,000.
108,000.
105, 108,000 people.
Okay.
By Warsaw Pact standards, it was very small compared to all of their fellow Warsaw Pact members. But like I said, they compensated by having a very complete training program.
Gotcha.
They had a lot of modern equipment, and they were typically trusted by the Soviet Union a lot more than any of their Warsaw Pact comrades.
So you personally, how did you get involved with this?
I've been collecting East. I've always kind of had a fascination with East Germany.
Yeah.
I was born right as the Cold War ended, so it was just very interesting to me, the idea of a country that effectively disappeared right before I was born.
Yeah.
Almost in living memory, So that interested me quite a bit, and I just started collecting things. Built up a collection over time. I used to do Civil War reenacting, and then I kind of decided to go a different direction, and I had all this, and I was like, not many people do Cold War things.
No,
so
they don't.
Especially Warsaw Pact and Soviet.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I figured I would bring that out.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're here at Fort Jennings.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. Have a good day.
Hey, you too. Thank you.